Hello there and welcome to the Bicycle Diaries. You join me here at the beginning of December, and for us in the Northern Hemisphere that's obviously winter, but I do understand that there are people watching in the Southern Hemisphere where it's actually summertime. So enjoy your summer down there while we're up here nice and cold. Now, I always do feel a little bit self-conscious when I start talking about how cold it is in the UK. I know that I also have people watching these vlogs in places like Canada and in Scandinavia, and there it can really be cold in the winter time. So minus 20, minus 30 degrees Celsius, and that is just too cold to ride. So hopefully it's going to not be too long a winter for you up there, and the spring will be with you soon. And you'll be able to get out on the road. But here in the UK, when I drove down to town today, it was 1.5 degrees Celsius. So if my calculations and my maths are correct, that's going to be about 35, 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, as such, that's not desperately cold within the grand scheme of things. But, we're pretty tough here in the UK. But when it comes to the cold, I suppose everything's a bit relative. And going out on the bike in this sort of weather is going to require things like long sleeve jerseys, heated base layer, possibly if you've got one, gloves, long bottoms, and maybe even overshoes, although I'm very, very reluctant to put some of those on at the moment. I've got them, but they are just a pain in the backside to get over the shoes. They're called overshoes, but actually getting them over shoes is, you might as well try and crack the atom or something. Now, I suppose that's my roundabout way of saying that I haven't really been cycling this week. I've had things that I've been doing, and in the evening I've not really been doing any Zwifting either, so I've been a right lazy devil this week. But hopefully that's all going to change, because on Monday next week I'm going to be jumping on a plane and heading somewhere for 4 days of cycling, which I'll be vlogging about when I'm actually there. So if you'd like to know more about that, stay tuned and all will be revealed. Now, I did touch very briefly upon the subject of winter base miles in last week's vlog, and just to recap, I said that mostly in the winter us kind of old school cyclists try and do the longer, easier rides to build up what we call a fitness base. Now, the fitness base is a bit like the bottom of a triangle, so the longer that fitness base is, the higher the pyramid's going to be. And what happens towards the top of the pyramid is that the rides start to get shorter, but the intensity of those rides also increases. So come the summer, you're super fast and super fit. Now, my general rule of thumb is that you achieve your base miles after about 1,500 kilometers, and that's going to take your average cyclist probably between 8 and 10 weeks to achieve. I did post a film earlier in the year which kind of turns all of that on its head, and that was the one about the HIIT training, and that stands for high intensity interval training, which essentially is shorter, harder rides during the off season. Now, the benefit of this is that obviously with the shorter rides you're not out in the wet and you're not out in the cold as long as you would have been had you gone out and done the traditional winter base mile rides. There is also some evidence to suggest that these shorter, harder rides are every bit as beneficial fitness-wise as the longer, harder rides. So for me personally, I do quite enjoy the longer rides, but I think I will mix it up a bit and do the shorter, harder rides when possible, simply because I just don't have a lot of spare time at the moment to go out and cycle. As for the longer rides themselves, I do quite like going out and doing them, and obviously they're going to be a lot better with a group of people because they're a bit more social. You've got time to chat There's very often a tea stop and whatnot. But at the moment for me, I'm kind of Billy No Mates. I've got a couple of cycling chums that I can call upon, but I would like to find a group where there are a few more people to join in, because it's a lot easier to ride in a large group. Now, I did go out with the Evans store ride a couple of weeks ago now. I've only done the one of them, and one of the things that really did surprise me was the reaction that we got from motorists. Now, it's been a while since I've been cycling with a larger group of people, and when I say a larger group, I mean 8-9 people. So it's not exactly like the Tour de France and a huge peloton going along. Yet the drivers' reaction was absolutely astonishing. They were impatient, they were tooting us up as they were overtaking, they were revving their engines aggressively, they were overtaking dangerously. I just could not believe how stupid and ignorant some of these drivers were. But having said that, that is not going to put me off going out with a larger group of cyclists. I think, like I say, it's a lot more sociable, and you just sit behind somebody's wheel and try and follow those. And plus, when you are riding with people that are perhaps a little bit better and a little bit stronger and a little bit faster than you are, you do improve without really thinking about it, because you're focusing on their wheel, you're trying to catch them up, and you're not concentrating on how hard it is and how much pain you're in. Interestingly, over the last couple of weeks, a few of you have commented about me having a bike fit. You've watched some of the films and you've either said that the saddle on the bike is too high or it's too low, or my technique just looks like I need a bike fit. Now, just to sort of clear things up, I did have a bike fit back in April, and that kind of got my Cannondale into the rough ballpark figure of where it needed to be. And then the eureka moment for me came when I lowered the handlebars. So in short, yes, I have had a bike fit, and I believe, to the best of my knowledge, that my Cannondale and indeed all of my bikes are set to the correct height and everything. I'm not experiencing any pain when cycling, particularly in my knees or my legs or anything like that. And the bikes just feel absolutely fantastic to ride. So I may look a bit clumsy on the bike, but believe me, it feels absolutely fantastic. Like most people at this time of year when the weather's cold, I'm looking forward to summer. And I found myself earlier looking at my Skyscanner app and searching for flights to Mallorca. Now, I think I've found one. It flies in mid-September, and that's an absolutely fantastic time to be down there. Gives me plenty of time to train, and it's just something to look forward to. Now, I have to admit I didn't actually book it, although it took all of my self-control not to, but I can still change my mind. So I would like to have a Mallorca trip this year. Obviously that's something nice to look forward to, but it's also a fantastic way to motivate myself, because I know I've got this trip coming up and I have to train for it. There's no point going out there all unfit and stuff. So last time I went, it was absolutely amazing. I smashed all of my PRs, and if I go out there again in September, I want to smash the PRs that I established in 2018. So yes, I really do have to start training for that. If I do book it up, rest assured that I will let you all know, and you'll be very welcome to come out and join me. It's nothing official, it's all going to be kind of independent travel, and if you're out there, we can meet up and we can do some rides together. But having said that, I would also like to organise a meetup ride here in the UK in the spring sometime. So off the top of my head, I'm thinking April or May, once the weather's had a chance to warm up a bit. Again, it's not going to be anything official, it's just going to be, right, we're meeting here at this day, at this time. If you're in the area, you're very welcome to come along and join us. Now, I live down on the south coast of the UK, and I realise that that might be tricky for people to get to, so I'm also thinking about a fairly central location so that as many people as possible can come along and join us. So there we go, that's how it is this week. Okay, I haven't been doing much cycling, but like I say, I'm away next week in an amazing location, and I should be able to get a fair bit of cycling in while I'm there. Thanks for watching.